Start in Russia, where 7 children and 1 teacher have died after a shooting at a school in the southwestern city of Kazan. Local authorities have said the attack was carried out by a sole 19-year-old attacker. It's thought he was a former student at the school. We had some dramatic pictures that came in from just outside the school, number 175. And what you can see here is an emergency vehicle that's responded to the situation. Children are gathered around, but if you look a bit more closely, look at the children here running across the field out of the school and to safety. We understand the school has now been secured and is safe. But let's show you where this happened. It's the city of Kazan. It's some 700 kilometers east of Moscow. It is the capital of the Russian Republic of Tatarstan. So a terrifying day for people in that city. It is all anyone is talking about there at the moment, of course, because these things are unusual, shootings like this. I spoke to Rozada Kotuzova, who is a Kazan resident, and she said what she heard from her husband at the time. He was working in a building right next door to the school.
Well, he texted me about 10 a.m. at the local time. He said that something horrible is happening at the school, that they heard the sirens and then they saw police and ambulances approaching. And he said there were lots of them coming. And then they went outside to look at what was going on. And there were lots of people. It was quite crowded. And he said people said that they heard the explosion and they heard the shooting. So it was quite messy and scary and, yeah, quite terrifying.
Absolutely, and all the parents, of course, racing down to the school
Yes.
to try and see if their children are safe. Tell us a bit more about the reaction in the city, because it's very unusual for things like this to happen.
Yeah, it's extremely rare. We usually only see this kind of news from abroad, mostly, and here in Kazan, I think it's the first one happening. That's why we are all very shocked and saddened, of course, and people like... this is the topic that people are discussing today everywhere, like WhatsApp chats, with friends. They all are, we are all telling each other what we have heard, and there are lots of rumors, like we don't know what is true and what is not, but I think we'll get the facts as the panic settles down, maybe.
Rozada, do you know what age the children were in the school and how big it is?
Usually here in Russia, we don't have like separate schools for primary, secondary, and higher school. So everyone goes into one building. So I suppose there were children from ages 6 to 7 and up to 16, 17.
President Putin came out straight away and ordered a review of civilian gun ownership. Can you give us an idea of how people in Kazan view guns, what the culture is like around guns, how easy it is to buy a gun, for instance?
Well, I can say I personally don't know anyone who owns a gun, and it is, again, not common to own guns, to use them even for, I don't know, hunting or practice or other reasons people use them for. But I think in general people will not be upset if the policies will be stricter.
Let's speak now to Olga Evshina, who joins us from the BBC's Russian service, who has been monitoring what is happening in Kazan. Has it been confirmed, Olga, that there is just one attacker and that he has indeed been shot dead?
The officials came with a statement that the attacker has been alone, and no, he hasn't been shot dead. He has been detained. It's known that he's a 19-year-old guy, supposedly a former student of the school. He is currently at the hands of the police being questioned.
But everything at the school is locked down. Children are safe and secure now.
Yes, absolutely. The incident is over. Special forces are at the scene. The school is secured, as well as many other schools. So basically all all school activities for today in Kazan are over, and there would be no schooling today more in the city. Moreover, tomorrow is a day of national mourning, so I'm not sure that schools will be working tomorrow in Kazan. I'm myself from Kazan, so many people who I know are exchanging messages, and I know that many mothers and fathers called to the police asking for additional protection for their schools because, before the incident, there were no armed guards in schools in Kazan. There usually just was one or two private security guards who were basically just, grown-up guys looking after kids at school, nothing more serious.
Olga, we're hearing these different reports about whether or not the attacker has been detained or, in fact, was killed. That just gives us an example, really, of how chaotic the situation is there. And Resida was also just telling me that she's hearing lots of different reports. Are you seeing quite a bit of fake news around this as well?
Yes, absolutely. I'm not sure whether these fake news are spread, consciously or with an effort, or is it just a confusion. In the majority of the cases, it's just chaos and people being scared, and that's why the news are spreading. Also, this morning, the estimates of people who were injured and killed was changing rapidly into different directions. So at the moment, the official figure is 8 people, 7 kids and 1 teacher, but also 6 kids are currently in a critical condition in a hospital, and doctors are fighting for their lives. And definitely, various accounts are coming. That's why we try to rely on official statements as the main source and double and triple check all other information which is coming from the ground.
Absolutely, Olga. And tell us what the reaction has been from President Putin in the Kremlin.
Yes, there has been a very strong reaction from the Kremlin. Mr. Putin said that the whole legislation of civilian gun ownership should be rethought, and also Russian MPs are supporting the idea. Actually, these speculations existed before, because on the one hand, not that many people have guns in Russia, and Resida is right. It's not everyone knows someone who owns a gun. On the other hand, if you want to get one, it's not that complicated. It's not that hard. You just need to follow the simple rules. And for example, the psychological check, which is done, it's not a profound check. They just see whether you are in databases of some people with illnesses, but they don't look deep into the problem, whether a certain person, you don't do certain tests to check whether you have depression currently or whether you can be aggressive. There is a lot of speculation at the moment, and Russian president has said that the whole legislation should be rethought, and Russian MPs have already said that they gathered a special commission to look into that question, and in the next few days the hearings will start.
Okay, Olga, thanks so much for that update. Olga Ivshina joining us there.